Hey, welcome back everyone, Meanpooh here, and today I'm going to show you the settings that I have for my i7 9750. Now, I'm sure you're probably familiar, or I hope you're familiar with Throttlestop, and if you're not, I do have a tutorial that you can check out that'll tell you a little bit about it. But this video is just to show you the settings that I have that I use on my MSI Raider GE75. So you notice that I have the CPU ID hardware monitor opened up, and I have Throttlestop opened up, of course, along with limit reasons. We also have the TS bench, so we can benchmark our settings a little bit, and CPU Z. And I have another folder over here opened up just for logs. So looking over here on hardware manager, I usually just have this open so I can see the temperature, to see if my CPU is offset, which you can see here. Down here we can see the watts, and if the cores are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then here we can see the clock speeds. Over on Throttlestop, this is the settings that I have set up, and it's my all-around profile that I use. So I have speed shift EPP set to 120. Yours might be different. I also have BD, PRO, CHOT. This will let us know if something happens with performance, such as thermal issues or power issues. Next over, I have C1E checked, and I have log file checked. Jumping into options, you might not have to mess with anything in here, but just in case, this is what I changed. I did make a custom name. Going on down the right side, I add limit reasons to log file. This so I can see if an error showed up and what time it did show up exactly. And I have the NVIDIA GPU checked. The others were already selected when I installed the program. So let's just close this up. Moving on to the right, we have TS bench. That's open so we can benchmark our test, so we can see if the CPU will perform like we want. And that is right here. This is where our errors will pop up. If there's some type of throttling or power issue, we'll see it in this area. TPL, which is the turbo power limit module. I have my long power max set to 75 and my short power max set to 100. You don't have to mess with this. It's not checked or anything, so it shouldn't even be using it. I didn't bother anything else in this area. Let's move into the voltage regulator screen, or FIVR. Now I'm using my game profile, so I have two selected, and the only thing that I've changed, and I spent weeks on this, okay, CPU core, I have it offset at -130.9, CPU cache -137.7, and I added a little undervolt to the Intel GPU, which is -42. I didn't bother anything in the turbo ratio limits. That stays the same. If you're having problems with power limiting, you might want to go ahead and check this. You'll have to download a small little program, but then once you do that, drop it into your main folder of Throttlestop, then come back in and put a check mark here. So now we're going to do a few benchmarks with my all-around setting. Now this is the setting that I use for my everyday, whether I'm playing a game or I'm doing some type of editing on this computer. So let's go ahead and run it. I'll use the 12 threads and hit start. Now this will throw up an error and it will start the throttle just a tad bit. So we'll let it go. You see our multiplier is up on 40 FID here. You can look over here, see that our processor is utilizing pretty much right at 100%. It's drawing around 60 watts. We're at 30% progress. And down here you can look where our clocks are located, right almost at 4.0 gigahertz, give or take. And our temperatures, it's getting up there. If you don't want to look over here, you can look right here. As it lined up. So there is our first error. It is actually throttling right now. And it's in progress, it's red. And it'll stop when it turns yellow. So we'll let it keep going. But as it is throttling or the problems, it's still staying close to 4 gigahertz or between 39 and 37 megahertz, 3700 megahertz or 3.7 gigahertz. Okay, almost done. Now this does not affect my performance at all. In fact, throttling, it's actually what it's supposed to do. Okay, it's not going to hurt it. So like I said, I have this log file checked right here. And we can go in and we can open it up. And we can see when it happened. I've been running tests all day. I mean, I probably got a recycle bin full of these. Let's go all the way down. And here's where the PL1 error came up. Let's go up. Right here. And you can tell where it started. It was drawing like 61.8 watts, right? And that's the voltage. This temperature, this 42 is the temperature of the GPU. So that's the 2060 temperature right there. And this is the temperature of the processor itself. So you can see, let's go up a little bit, 86, 89. It was fluctuating, and you can tell something happened, right? Let's see. Get up here. 100 utilization, 99. Okay, let's go to where we started. Looked like it was idle. Okay, somewhere around in here. Okay, so about 0119. It started. Utilization happened. Our clocks were going up. We're on 40. All right, it's going down. Temperatures are going up. All right, 81, 85, 89. That's our first big one. So you can see something's starting to happen, right? So it dropped down about 0.02 right here, but no errors are thrown. And we're still going, it's still fluctuating, 86, 90, right? Then around here, that's when some things started going on. Okay. The temperature for the GPU is starting to heat up. And then the error happens right here. So we can look at that. We can look at this and tell that it's a heating issue for the most part. And it's drawn a lot of wattage. Now I have this laptop repasted and there's nothing you can really do to cool it anymore besides put liquid metal on it. And that's just something I'm not going to do. I don't feel like going through all that. But if you want to, you can do it yourself. But this is not going to hurt anything. Like I said, the CPU will throttle like it's supposed to. You can't go over 4 gigahertz anyway because the specs on the processor is 1 core going at 4.5, 2 cores at 4.4, and then 6 cores at 4.0 gigahertz. So we're still doing good. That's not going to hurt anything. But I got something else for you. Okay, now let's test the Undervolt with CPU-Z. And the thing I like about CPU-Z is that you can actually stress the CPU for a long period of time. You can do this with TS Bench, but it only runs for about a minute or two and then you have to like start over. So let's go ahead and clear this out while we can. We'll clear that and we'll clear this right here. And we want to stress the CPU. All right. So again, our clocks are right where they're supposed to be. Multiplier's looking good. 100. 100. Generally, you want to see 100 across the board if you can. I don't see any throttling or anything going on right now. And remember that all benchmarking programs are not the same. You would think they would be, but they're not. And if this started to throttle, you would actually have to look at these numbers. There you go, right here. Starting to throttle just like in TS Bench. And how far did it throttle? Look, still right around 38. It's still good. And that's why I use this as my all-around, because it's not affecting me none. It doesn't affect anything that I do. Now, some people out there might not like that. They're like, you know what? I don't want it to throttle at all. And in that case, I got something for you. I got a setting that you can use. 1 second. So let's go ahead and stop this. Now, you may want to tinker around with this to get it how you like, because of course, not all of these will work, and everybody's computer is different to make it to where it will not throttle. So for that one setting I was telling you about, I can put this speed shift here at 139. Okay. And I can run a benchmark. It's clear. Hit start and it will not throttle. So let's roll. I've ran this test dozens and dozens and dozens of times, and no errors, no nothing. So look at there. It's staying around 36, 33, 34, somewhere around in there. This is the only setting that I've found to where it will not throw any errors or anything in the limit reasons box. And I'm pretty sure there's probably some other settings that you can do if you tinker with it enough. But for me, I have not found it, and I've been at this for a very long time. And I'm pretty sure this setting will work for someone, doing something every day. As you see, look at the temps. Temps aren't even high at all. But we're benchmarking, but it's going to be decently high. But since we're benchmarking, I mean, that's pretty decent. 80s. So not bad. Pulling what it's supposed to be pulling, around 45 watts. That's pretty good. Now for this next part, I have 3 games that I tested. It's Call of Duty, Far Cry 5, and Red Dead Redemption. The first one I used as no undervolt. Okay. The second test I used a all around, which is my 120 undervolt. I use that for pretty much everything. And the last one is a tweaked setting or tweaked undervolt for that specific game. And like I said, all games for me will use a different undervolt. So without further ado, I'll let you check out the games.
Ladders behind walls of glass revels, climbing angles of slowed down cliffs, perhaps
Targets are up, get to work!
I'll take the wheel. There you go.
Friendly loadout drop on the way. engage all targets. Targets are up. Get to work.
I'll take the wheel.
Clear to engage all targets. Friendly loadout drop on the way.